Whether you loved it or hated it, you have to admit, Fallout 3 knew how to set the tone and atmosphere for a game. Fallout 3 doesn't come close to the love I have for Fallout New Vegas, but walking out of Good Springs and walking out of Fallout 101 were just two totally different experiences, and I think you all know exactly what I'm talking about. When you take that first step out of Vault 101 and your eyes adjust, you're greeted with this bleak and depressing world. Even the color scheme seems so dull, almost like what a wasteland is supposed to feel like. Even the first stop out of the vault at Springvale Elementary, if that's your first stop, if you've never played the game before and you know nothing of Raiders and this is your first playthrough, and you see the carnage inside of the school, it's just horrifying to imagine, like, if that was actually a reality in our world. It felt raw and gritty, and most of all, it felt true to the Fallout title, in my opinion at least. Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas all kind of captured this in their own different ways, while I think 3 just made things look like everything was just so desperate and dire. It felt like everyone was struggling around you. Fallout 3 may have its plot holes and its flaws, but it still doesn't remove from the fact that there's that eerie vibe I get every time I start a playthrough. Maybe it's because I've beaten New Vegas and other RPGs so many times, but Fallout 3 just feels different. It always made me feel anxious, like anything could happen at any second. It even makes me second guess taking on certain groups of enemies or doing certain DLCs because of the tone that's set throughout the game. That this is a survival, and I don't know, maybe that's just me. Overall, Fallout 3 can feel pretty rough at times, but is just as good as any other Fallout title out there, honestly, in my opinion. But then again, I enjoy all of these games, so maybe I am a little biased, but still, it must not have been that terrible, because it won Game of the Year all those years ago, after all, when it was up against games like Mass Effect, Dead Space, Left 4 Dead, and Call of Duty World at War, if I remember correctly. And those games are all masterpieces in their own right. Honestly, I think that's where you can almost attribute some of Fallout 3's success, because of the general atmosphere and climate games we're in at the period. And I honestly feel it's part of the reason game devs have just had such a hard time catching that lightning in a bottle these days in the current state of gaming. I'm not going to carry on much longer, and I guess if I'm not making any sense here with my ramblings, I apologize. Maybe it's just something you had to live through or experience yourself, or maybe it's the nostalgia talking, I don't know. But at least when I was a kid, even if a game didn't look great, it still could leave a lasting impression on me because of the picture that game or whatever was trying to paint. Like, because of the picture that game specifically was trying to paint. I mean, it's not what the capabilities or the limitations what the devs or whatever had that they gave me, what I was seeing in front of me, like all the old games I've played in my past. I could just visualize what they were trying to say, you know what I mean? Well, sorry about that. Anyway, guys, that's about it. Hope you stick around for more. See ya.